Come on.
And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
That's what I was talking about earlier. In their right hand and in their forehead. Meaning to do sin and think sin. That's all it's talking about. Ain't talking about some microchip. That bull crap out of your head. Ain't no microchip gonna make you sin. People stupid as hell. The white man puts a thought in your mind to make you think that sin is pleasurable. And you end up thinking it and you end up doing it. That's the mark being in your head and in your hand.
And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come. Then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them. Ezekiel chapter 33, verse 33. Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Chakodash. Double honors to our venerable apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and blessings to the Lord's elect, the house of David. All right, it's the brother Aaron coming back at you with another lesson, Lord willing to be edifying and uplifting unto the elect. And I'm going to title this, IUIC, Explain This, Bitcoin Wallet. Okay, IUIC, Explain This, Bitcoin Wallet. All right, and of course, this is all going into the prophecy of the MOTB. All right, now, as we all know, that the MOTB, knowing what it is, it's not no sin or sin in all its various ways, both political and religious. It's not that. It's definitely not that. Okay, so this is going to be an article that I'm going to go into, which was dated back 2014. Okay, just to show you that they've had this technology, and it's just a matter of time before they roll it out. All right, to the public at least. All right, but this is going to be a video for IUIC to explain what this is all about. Okay, and before we go into it, let's read the first precept here, which we know this precept by heart. All right, again, the last major prophecy before the destruction of this place. Okay, this is the book of Revelation, chapter 13. In verse 16, it says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And there's a colon. Okay, so whatever comes after the colon explains what was before the colon, right? So what's the reason for the he meaning the elites of this world, all right, the central bankers and so on and so forth, who have the power to make these things happen. Okay, they have billions, if not trillions of dollars invested in new age technology, all right, invested in government policies that become law that they're going to use to corner the world and push it into a direction that they want it to go into. Okay, it's all about total control. All right, and Mayor Amschel Bauer said, give me control of a nation's money and I care not who makes the laws, right? So if Esau or whoever is in control of the money, all right, the currency, then they control and dictate how people are going to live. All right. And that's exactly what we're seeing in being developed. All right. And it's all fulfilling biblical prophecy. So it says, and he causeth all, right? When you go into that word causeth, as we've done many, many times, right, it means to construct or to fashion. In other words, Esau used the word development, okay, to develop something, right? So they're developing a world through AI, through technology, all right, that what? Both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, right? Everyone, all right, it says all, so everyone, to receive a mark, all right, in their right hand or in their foreheads. That mark is going into the Greek word charagma, okay, charagma. And when you go into that word charagma, let's see what it says. The thing that IUIC doesn't want to do, going into the words, they're not going to do that. So we'll do it for them, don't worry, all right? It says charagma, and it means a stamp, an imprinted mark. Okay, it says a thing carved, sculpture, graven work. Okay, it says of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist. Okay, now when you go into the root word of charagma, it brings us to the word charax. Okay, when you go into that word charax, it says a pale or stake, a palisade. Okay, it says a palisade or rampart. It says pales between which earth stones trees and timbers are heaped and packed together. Okay, so you go deeper into that word charax, you get the word grapho. Okay, it says to write with reference to the form of the letters, to delineate letters on a tablet, parchment paper, or other material. It says to write with reference to the contents of the writing. It says to express in written characters, to commit to writing. It says to write down or to record. Interesting. It says used of those things which stand written in the sacred books. It says to write to one, i.e. by writing in a written epistle, to give information or directions. It says to fill with writing, to draw up in writing or compose. In other words, what is known as data. Okay, your digital data, your digital identification, and so on and so forth, is where we get graphos from. Okay, so now let's go back. Now that we understand what the word mark means, all right, it means that something that's going to be imprinted in you to give a mark, a stigma. Okay, so let's go back to verse 17 and see what that mark is going to be used for. What will be the main purpose of having this mark in you? Okay, it says verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell. That's engaging in economic trade, having some form of economic identity that gives you access to trade, meaning buying or selling. You cannot buy or sell with sin being a mark. Sin cannot give you a mark, number one. Number two, there's nowhere on this planet Earth that you can go to and say, I have the mark of sin, now I need to buy and sell. How much is this? How much sin points do I have in order to purchase this car over here? How much sin points do I have in order to get this apartment right here? How much sin points do I have in order to access this grocery store and buy some food for myself and my family? It's never going to happen. Okay, it's actually a very retarded thing to think about and say outright, like as a grown ass man who can read and write, to say, oh, it's sin. I mean, shit, you know. But let's continue. It says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, okay, except those who take that mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Okay, here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Okay, now the founder or the owner of Alibaba, okay, I forget what his name is, but he came out a few years ago and he said they're currently in development of working on getting something known as a carbon footprint. Okay, a carbon footprint tracker is what he said. Okay, and we did a video on this going into that whole concept of the carbon footprint. When you break it down, it goes into 666. Okay, carbon is the sixth. It has a element number of 6. And then you got, I think, 6 protons and 6 electrons or 6 neutrons. All right, that gives you 666. Okay, now we know that it says here, verse 18, here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. So you notice they have a pattern of pushing that number 6. All right, the number 6 is their number. That's their vibration. It carries a vibration that works for them. Okay, on the left hand side. All right, but now it's all coming together that the direction in which the world is going into right now is all pushing for some form of digital ID or digital transactions and so on and so forth. Okay, now Trump, all right, a few years ago, he said he wasn't with this whole Bitcoin situation, right? And then just a few months ago, he said that he's going to be pushing to make America basically the number one country that's going to be pushing Bitcoin, right? Now, I have an article here, like I said, that goes all the way back to 2014. It's almost 10 years ago because this was back in November of 2014, right? So that's 10 years. Okay, you know how they deal with numerology. We're coming up on November, right? The so-called election coming up and so on and so forth. But let's read this real quick. This is on CBS News. It says, Mr. Bitcoin will never forget where he left his wallet. It's implanted under his skin. The Amsterdam-based Bitcoin entrepreneur, whose real name is Martin Weismeyer, turned himself into a real-life cyborg by having a miniature digital communications C-hip implanted in his hand. It doesn't say it was planted in his butt cheek or his right toe. None of that. Okay, because it has to make sense. Remember, the Apostle John saw this as a reality. Okay, that people were implanted with a device, right, that left a mark on their skin. Okay, and that mark gave them the ability to be identified in this beast system so that they can buy or sell. And the system was built in such a way that if you didn't have this mark, you couldn't buy or sell. Now, in the word mark in the English, but when you go into the Greek, we broke it down as charagma. When you break it even further down, you get charax, which is a pale or a palisade. Just like exactly, if you look it up, it looks exactly like a needle. Okay? The thing that they use to implant you, all right, with the device is actually a palisade. Okay? So he used the best word to describe it, charax. All right? So continuing, it says, Weismeyer and his compatriots got tiny NFC chips injected into their hands. NFC, which stands for Near Field Communications, is the same type of technology built into the Apple Pay digital payment system and numerous Android devices. So that technology exists right now that we're all using. Shit. Sometimes I go to the grocery store and they, you paying your shit, whatever. I just tap my phone or I tap my card and boom, it already does the thing. It's a split second. That's it. Okay. So that same technology soon, they're going to eradicate the use of cell phones connected to your banking information. They're going to eliminate debit cards and so on and so forth. And the only way you'll be able to actually purchase anything, all right, is to have that device implanted in you. Okay, so no more wearables. Now we're shifting into implantables. Okay, and we've been warning about this and warning about this and warning about this for years. All right, and it's coming. Okay, that great test is coming. And the Lord is going to expose all you false prophets out there, man. Okay? It says NFC is a short-range wireless system that allows devices to send data back and forth, enabling the user to make mobile payments or send commands to other smart devices. Okay? Nowadays, we're all surrounded by smart devices. Your phone is a smartphone. Your TV is a smart TV. Your fridge is a smart fridge. They talking to gadgets like Alexa, all these different things. Your cars are smart. You can speak to your car now. Hey, call this person, or hey, open this app, or play music, or whatever. So it's all in the making. That's again going to that word causeth. All right, everything around you is changing. You go to the train station, they got this new technology where soon you're just going to have to tap your hand and you're good to go. Wave and go. Amazon, Whole Foods, they already have that technology. You walk in there, you could put your information on whatever, and then you could just wave your hand and boom, you're paying for your stuff. So the technology is already there. All right. And the indoctrination, all right, or the mental preparation of the people is also already there. All they need is that one major crisis that pushes everything over the edge, so to speak. Okay? Because they need something. Klaus Schwab said it. He said this new age technology is not something that, you can just push out and people are going to accept it. No. You have to go over hurdles and so on and so forth. But there has to be something. All right, something major enough that's going to create an emergency situation that these governments can use as a catalyst to bring about this new so-called technology to save the day, if you will. Okay, and people are going to be with it when the time comes. All right. It says the CHIP that Mr. Bitcoin, and that's a quote, Mr. Bitcoin used was developed by a company called Dangerous Things. Okay, Dangerous Things. Isn't that a nomen omen? All right, let's look up the word dangerous real quick. See what it says. All right, because these devils don't use names just like, oh, it just popped up out of midair. We're just gonna choose Dangerous Things. Out of all the names you could call your company, you call your company Dangerous Things, right? It says the word dangerous. It says here, it says involving danger or hazardous, unsafe, risky, liable to inflict injury or harm. It's very interesting, right? because we know that those who take the MOTB, the scriptures tell you that John said he saw them getting hit with a grievous and noisome and grievous sore. Okay, and when you actually go into that and you break it down, it goes into like a pus, like cancerous sore. And I think a brother had a dream a few days ago or so, and he was doing a testimony of how him and a couple of brothers were out, and all of a sudden Esau, set it up where they were coming after people, right? And they'll go around, hey, let me scan you real quick, see if they had the you know what. All right, and one of them, all right, who was with those brothers, he had taken it, but he was walking around like everything is good. So when it came the time of test, he failed. He failed, and the brothers was looking at him like, yo, damn, bro, this whole time, bro, like we labored with you, we toiled with you, and this is what you do at the end, right? And that was a spiritual revelation of what's to come very soon. A lot of guys are gonna fall when the time comes, okay? Because you're not deeply rooted. You might not even think of it as this thing is right around the corner, right? You have to be spiritually, mentally prepared for what's coming. All right, think of what happened in 2020, 2021, but on a whole nother level, as in you can't even gain access to these places. You don't have anyone to talk to. When there's a lockdown and everybody's locked in their houses and they bring out new technology that's going to replace people, who you gonna go up to talk to? Oh, hey, I have it, but I left it in the car. Can I just grab something real quick? I just need a bottle of water. All right, go ahead. No, you're not gonna get none of that. Okay, it's gonna be red zoned everywhere. If you don't take that C-hip, you're gonna be a menace to society, if you will. All right, but here they're saying what? Dangerous things. Okay, something that is what? Risky, liable to inflict injury or harm. Okay, so you have a company. It says what? Arrogance, insolence, right? It says difficult to deal with, arrogant, severe, the opposite of affable. Okay, it says power to harm, mastery, authority, control. Damn, bro. Okay, and what is the whole purpose of creating this system that no man might buy or sell? That is a control mechanism. If you don't have this, you can't do this. That's control. It's conditional. And they're not talking about sin. I'm not seeing no sin in here. Oh, this guy went and had a sin as a mark, and now bro, it's talking about for payments, to make payments. In a system that you're subject to payments, you're gonna have to make some payments some way, somehow. And that's where that's where they send the trap at. Okay? It ain't no sin, bro. Trust me. So it says, according to the company's Indiegogo campaign, its inventor, Amal Grafstra, said, Amal, sounds like Imal. Anyway, it says, had the first model implanted into his own hand by a surgeon in 2005 and got a second upgraded model injected a couple of months later using a PET C-hip injector assembly. Weismeyer used the same type of injector to have the miniature device slipped under his skin. See? That's that Carax. Okay? It says the XNT, which otherwise known as a C-hip, is a 2mm by 12mm fully NFC Type 2 compliant RFID tag encased in a cylindrical Scott 8625 bioglass ampule and sterilized in ethylene oxide gas. That does not sound healthy, if you ask me. Yo, I'm busy. Back up. Right? That doesn't sound healthy if you ask me. It says, according to the Dangerous Things Indiegogo page, quote, it is compatible with all NFC compliant devices such as mobile phones, tablets, etc., and can be used to launch URLs, share contact details, unlock phones, etc. Okay? Again, it's an access thing, bro. All right? It says the C-hip can also be used with several types of commercial readers. Think of what? Think of public spaces, commercial, right? To unlock doors, start cars, log into computers. The C-hip minus the bioglass capsule encasing it is similar to what Americans are beginning to see embedded into their credit cards and mobile phones, including the Apple iPhone 6. You see that number 6 coming up again, right? Interesting. It says, Weismeyer and friends had the C-hips implanted at a biohacking event in an old toothpaste factory, right? Did not Noah Harari say that humans have become hackable creatures, right? Hackable animals. I'm sorry. No, let's use the right terms now. He said people have become hackable animals. Okay. So a biohacking, bio means life or pertaining to the body. Okay. And hacking, when you go into that word hack, let's see. That's crazy. Hacking or hack. It says to cut roughly. To cut with chopping blows. Okay. It says to hook, to chop or hack, to strike, smite. Let's go down a little bit, see if we can get some more. Let's see. It says, it says two for chopping. I thought it says two for chipping. That would have been, it says here, it says meaning a cut or a notch, an act of cutting. Okay, an act of cutting. So when they cut underneath your skin, they're hacking you. Okay, humans have become hackable animals. We can hack you now. When you think of hack, you think, oh, they're gonna send some data underneath your. No, hacking is they're implanting something into the body. Why is he saying that? Because they have the technology to do so. That's why he's talking like that. Humans have become hackable animals. That's what it means. It's to cut or to notch or to put. It's an act of cutting. Okay, to put something under your skin. All right, that's exactly what the Apostle John saw. Okay, it says, and that's where receiving the mark comes into play. All right, receiving, going to the Greek word didomai, which means basically to give one power to do or administer something onto you. All right, so when you go into these C-hipping stations or you go into the tattoo artists and all that, and they put it in you, that's you receiving. All right, didomaing. All right, the charagma. All right, it's just that simple. Okay, and once you do that, all of a sudden you're going to be able to connect with this new system that we're going to be in, which we're already in now. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is, right? So continuing, it says, Weismeyer told International Business Times UK, most doctors will not want to install the implant, so a body manipulation artist will be your next best bet. But make sure they work according to strict hygiene codes and know what they are doing. Now, this was 10 years ago. Most doctors would not do something like that 10 years ago. But 10 years later, just 4 years removed from what happened in 2020, 2021, okay, we have doctors now who are bought and paid for to push a certain agenda or narrative. So we know when the time comes, they're not going to be the ones to be like, oh, this is not healthy, this is not good, I strongly urge you not to do it. No, they're going to be the ones to criticize you and condemn you if you don't do it or if you don't have it. Yo, I'm busy, I said. Come over here. Come over here. Yo, come here. Enough. Right? They're going to be the ones to be pushing it. They're going to be the ones that if you walk in there and you don't have it, they're going to, are you kidding me? How did you get in here? You don't have it? Oh no, you're a safety hazard. I can't work on you. You got to go. You have no ID. You know? How am I going to be able to test your vitals? You know? Yeah, man, it's just about to get crazy out here. These niggas talking about sin. Fuck out of here, man. All right, so continuing, it says, what did he want? This is the cool part right here. It says, what did he want it for? Quote, I did it because I wanted to experiment with storing bitcoins using subdermal implants. He said, I thought it would be the holy grail of contactless payments. Contactless payments. Let's look up the word payment. It says action of repayment of a debt. All right. It says a thing or sum of money given in discharge of a debt. All right. Let's see if we can find some more on the word payment. Payment, right? Contactless payment. What is he doing? He's buying or he's selling something. Okay. Um, let's see more. Let's see more. To give what is due for goods or services. Buying and selling. See? To give or render with little or no sense of obligation. Okay? Wow, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Pay fully. All right? Money. The sums of money. Buying and selling. All right? If you go to a electronic store to buy a TV, all right, they gonna get your debit card to pay for it, or if you have cash, you could use it. But what happens when you're in a cashless society that does not use cash? You go to the store and they don't accept cash, you can't use cash. That's just what it is. So it's the same thing. If you go to a store and they can't accept debit cards and credit cards, that's what it is. The only thing they're gonna be using is that CHIP. That's what it is. All right, and all these companies are on board. So that's what it is. Okay, it says according to IBT, he also found it useful for opening doors and hitting the snooze bar on his alarm. It's very, very interesting, right? So we have that information right there, right? This is all being set up for Bitcoin, right? So-called Bitcoin. That was back in 2014. Now we know that it's all about digital wallets and so on and so forth. They've gone past just Bitcoin. Okay, but Bitcoin at least is a starting point because it's been 10 years in the making. So people are aware of it. They just probably don't understand it all the way, but they know it exists, right? It's not a foreign thing. It's not going to be a shock to the system if they all of a sudden say this is just how things are going to be. All right, the economy collapsed and now we're going to switch everything over digital. This is the payment system and so on and so forth, right? Real quick, it says Trump pledges national Bitcoin stockpile to make U.S. crypto capital of the planet. Okay, former President Donald Trump pitched his plan to make the United States the crypto capital of the planet and the Bitcoin superpower of the world, pledging to establish the nation's first strategic Bitcoin stockpile if elected. There you go. Okay, Trump is the first, so we could possibly see this in 2025. Okay, we could possibly see this thing come out in 2025, man. Who knows, right? When you have these devils coming out and saying that by 2025 over 6 billion people are going to be done away with, unalived, so to speak. That tells me something that they finna make that move. Okay, they finna make that move. It's about that time. All right, Revelation 12 and 12. It says Trump is the first presidential candidate from a major political party to make Bitcoin and cryptocurrency a campaign issue, and the first American president to speak at a Bitcoin event, addressing an enthusiastic. Hey, come on. It says Trump is the first presidential candidate from a major political party to make Bitcoin and cryptocurrency a campaign issue, and the first American president to speak at a Bitcoin event, addressing an enthusiastic standing room only crowd at the Bitcoin 2024 conference at the Music City Center in Nashville, 2 weeks after surviving an attack. Whatever. It says, if crypto is going to define the future, I want it to be mined, minted, and made in the U.S., Trump said. If Bitcoin is going to be the moon, or is going to the moon, as they say, it's going to the moon, I want America to be the nation that leads the way. It sounds very much like what Biden was saying a few years ago. Look, there's going to be a new world order out there. And then we have to be the number one country that leads it, or some shit like that he said. Okay? So eventually, as time goes on, you're starting to see, if you're paying attention, you're seeing that whether it's the left or the right, they're all going towards the same narrative, just in a different way. Okay? Just in a different way. One of them is being pushed, the left, just the Democrats, all right? They're pushing this whole irrational way of living to the point where people are now supporting the right, so-called right, which is the so-called conservatives. Oh, they're going to change things. They're going to bring sanity back because look at how insane these people are. Look at all this crazy stuff that they've been doing. We need some type of strength and stability from a real president that's going to bring things back to normal. Well, the solution is for them to bring that CHIP. See, it's coming in a different way, but most people are not paying attention to it and piecing the dots together. Okay, but yeah, man, just wanted to bring that out real quick. All right, once again, this is for you, IUIC. Explain this. All right, what's the whole Bitcoin wallet all about? Explain that. All right, because it has to do with buying and selling, and it has to do with some type of implantable CHIP underneath your skin that gives you the ability to buy and sell, as is written in the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter. So please go ahead and explain that. All right. So anyway, I'm going to end it off there. Lord, you are edified and informed. In closing, I'd like to give you, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash, the water, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And until next time, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Brakatham to the elect. Wa Shabbat Shalom.